Hi guys, I'm Dimension Jumper and today we're doing my top 5 challenging sections in video games. Now for this list, I'll just be going for some of the sections that I found slightly challenging or quite challenging from some of the games that I've played. And there will be some spoilers from the Final Fantasy VII Remake that came out quite recently. So if you haven't played that game yet, I suggest you get it, and then once you've played through it, come back to this video so you have an understanding of the game. So for number 5 are the door puzzles from The Legend of Zelda Spirit Tracks and Skyward Sword. Now in Spirit Tracks, throughout the game you have to go to the sanctuaries to get to the temples in each land, and the one I'm talking about specifically is the Marine Sanctuary. Now before you even go into the main sanctuary itself, I meet with that sanctuary's Locomo. You have to do this puzzle in which you have to find these statue head things and basically draw a path of where the statue heads are looking. And when you get to the door, which when you can do the pattern, it'll open the door for you. But the reason why this is quite challenging is because you will mess up a couple of times. I've messed up a couple of times. I'm not too sure about other people. They might have got like first time, but in Spirit Tracks I have messed up a couple of times. And in Skyward Sword, there are these 2 gem lock puzzles, and they can be found in the Ancient Cistern and on the Sand Ship. Now, if you want to have a clear idea of the combination, you have to find these arrow things which can tell you of how to do it. So in the Ancient Cistern, they can be found in the water area of the pillar, and on the Sand Ship it's in the same room as the gem door. And why I find this quite difficult is because you have to do the combination in the right order, and I have messed up a couple of times on that. But the reason why they're low on this list is because they're quite easy to do when after a couple of times I can basically do them. For number 4 is the Cynthia Battle in Pokemon Diamond, Pearl and Platinum. Now, out of all of the champions in the Pokemon series, Cynthia is probably the most well-known one out of all of those battles because of how challenging she is. Because she's got Pokemon like Lucario, Garchomp, Togekiss, Gastrodon, and various other Pokemon. And if you want to have like a slight edge over her, you might want to have like a couple of Pokemon a couple of levels above hers, and probably bring a couple of revives and 4-stars, because her team can take or deal a lot of hits, as well as your team taking or giving a lot of hits to hers. So if you do those things, you might be able to get an edge over Cynthia's team. For number 3 is the Motorbike Ride from the Final Fantasy VII Remake. So what I find quite challenging about this is that you not only do I have to focus like on what was going around me, like not only did I have to focus on where I was like bumping into things like the wall or the other motorbike, but I also had to focus on the enemies around me, because I had to focus on where they were on either side of me, and also had to focus on the boss, like the mini boss guy, like the soldier guy who was like, you know, interested in fighting Cloud. And yeah, that was kind of like a cool sort of like area for me, because like I'm only used to like playing Mario Kart, but I did find it kind of challenging because the soldier guy who you fight twice, once in the Motorbike Ride and the other time in the warehouse section. But yeah, and once you do finish off this Motorbike Ride, you do end up speaking to Jessie, and her reaction of how well you're driving or something depends on how much health you have. I think that's where I've found it from. And yeah, I got the bad option. So yeah, because I wasn't really used to the whole driving mechanics. It's still a good mechanic, the whole motorbike ride. It's just I wasn't really used to it. For number 2 is the Gleam and Darkgon boss fight at the end of the Wall of Light in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Now, what I find quite challenging about this final fight is that you're fighting them together. I'm excluding their singular fights at the end of the game because you're just fighting them one-on-one and you're not really facing them together. So what I find challenging about this boss fight is that not only are you fighting Darkgon and Gleam at the same time, it's the fact that they're using their attacks at similar times. So there might be a time where Darkgon might be shooting out little beams of darkness or something, and you will have to avoid that, or Gleam might be using some shockwaves. That was quite challenging because I get to avoid both of those things. The good thing about this fight is that you are allowed to use 3 fighters, and for me I use Cloud, Simon and Link because they use swords or use something that's close to swords. So for Simon he uses his whip, for Cloud he uses his Buster Sword, and for Link he uses the Master Sword. So I'm quite glad you can do that. And for number 1 is the dance sequence from, again, the Final Fantasy VII Remake. Now, I'm not good at rhythm-based games like Guitar Hero, or something that can do with guitars that can you focusing on what colours go where and which colour is on the guitar or whatever. But in the Final Fantasy VII Remake, in order to save Tifa, you will have to get recommendations or applications from some other guys, even to get close to this El Cornero guy who Tifa's meeting with. And what I find challenging about this is because in the dance battle, or the dance sequence, might I say, you will have to focus on which button, so that's the X, the circle, the triangle and the square, which one's going to appear first and which one's going to appear next. And I've got to say the dance battle is a good one. I do enjoy it because of the outcome, but depending on what score you get at the end will determine on which dress Cloud appears in. Because for me, even though I knew it was coming, I saw a couple of cutscenes of it on YouTube. I was still kind of surprised of what Cloud would be wearing to get close enough to Cornero. And even in the dance sequence, I did find some parts I reacted a bit too late because of maybe the camera. I think some parts of the camera, I would be watching the dance sequence and then I'll see a button, I'll be like, oh, there's the button, I had to press that one at a specific time. And yeah, that'll be partially my fault because I was kind of paying attention, but I was kind of paying attention a bit too late. So yeah, that's been my top 5 most challenging or quite challenging sections in video games. I hope you enjoyed that video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.